Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. 8 people were killed in an avalanche during a backcountry skiing expedition on the California side of Lake Tahoe on Tuesday, authorities said in an update Wednesday. 1 person is still missing, but presumed dead, officials said as searchers fight near whiteout conditions. 6 others in the party survived, ranging in age from 30 to 55 years old. The bodies of those killed remain at the scene, where significant avalanche risk persists. The avalanche struck at about 11:30 a.m. Tuesday and was at about a football field in length, according to authorities. The avalanche initially left 9 unaccounted for. The sheriff's office was able to remain in contact with the 6 survivors, 1 guide and 5 clients, via an emergency satellite messaging service that allowed them to send text messages. Federal authorities have opened a criminal investigation into whether 2 U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers lied under oath about a January shooting in Minneapolis. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said a review of video evidence revealed sworn testimony from the officers appeared to be untruthful, prompting a joint probe with the U.S. Department of Justice. Both officers have been placed on administrative leave and could face termination or criminal charges. The investigation comes after federal prosecutors moved to drop all charges against Julio Cesar Souza Celis and Alfredo Alejandro El Horna, whose case stemmed from a January 14th incident in which one of the men was shot in the leg by an ICE agent. A judge dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning the charges cannot be refiled. Authorities have not released the officers' names, and it remains unclear whether the men could still face immigration proceedings. The U.S. plans to deploy more advanced missile systems and other weapons in the Philippines to deter Chinese aggression in the South China Sea, the State Department said Tuesday, affirming a policy that has angered Beijing. Senior officials from the U.S. and the Philippines met in Manila this week for annual talks on their alliance, which rests on a mutual defense treaty signed in 1951. More than any other Southeast Asian nation, the Philippines has openly challenged China's claims to much of the South China Sea, a strategic route for about a third of global maritime trade. Last year, the U.S. Marines deployed a shorter-range, anti-ship missile launcher, known as the Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, to a Philippine island that is close to Taiwan. The Philippines, along with troops and weapons systems installed there, would be a central piece of any U.S. actions to defend Taiwan should China decide to invade or blockade the self-governed island. The leaders of Iran want to reach a nuclear deal with the U.S., but they are also preparing for war in case talks between the 2 countries break down. Tehran is deploying its forces, dispersing decision-making authority, fortifying its nuclear sites, and expanding its crackdown on domestic dissent. The move reflects its leaders' belief that the survival of the regime itself is at stake. Iran's leaders are facing widespread popular discontent over the worsening economic picture and the mass killing of protesters last month. The U.S. has deployed 2 aircraft carriers and a host of other warships and jet fighters to the region in preparation for worsening conditions. Farzan Sabet, an analyst on Iran and Middle East security at the Geneva Graduate Institute in Switzerland, said, quote, Iran is facing its worst military threat since 1988 and is preparing for strikes by putting its security and political leadership on high alert to prevent decapitation and to protect its nuclear facilities, end quote. It's been a staple for online shoppers for over 40 years. Now QVC, the popular home shopping cable network, is reportedly facing financial issues and a possible bankruptcy, according to published reports. The 24-hour shopping channel has seen a decline in impulse shopping and changing customer habits for years. The Pennsylvania-based QVC Group, Inc. is in discussions to voluntarily restructure debt by filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The company's stock price tumbled, dropping 70% from the beginning of the last week to the market close last Wednesday, February 11th. QVC Group, which also owns Home Shopping Network, is reportedly facing steep challenges from drop-in customers and revenues, high tariffs, and growing online competition such as Amazon and TikTok Shop. The parent company has laid off at least 900 employees throughout its firm and relocated Home Shopping Network's studio from Florida to its Westchester headquarters. QVC Group is reportedly focused on pivoting to social media and streaming, but still has more than a dozen TV channels airing globally. Do you dine out or order takeout? According to a new poll, both of those things are on their way out, but it depends on whom you're talking to. The new survey polled more than 2,000 Americans and found that 41% said they are ordering takeout less often, and 40% of the respondents also said they cook more often at home. Many attributed the cutback to higher menu prices, added taxes, fees, and gratuities. The YouGov.com survey says most Americans rarely get takeout or have food delivered. 76% of Americans cook at least a few times per week, and many, almost 60%, also eat leftovers or eat food another household member cooked, at least that often. Only 2% of Americans never cook, and another 10% cook once a month or less. But the breakdown does go along age lines. Younger adults are less likely to cook and more likely to order takeout than are older Americans. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Let's talk portable electric space heater safety. These heaters must not be left unattended. Place them on a stable base 3 feet from combustibles. Their use is not recommended within a bedroom, but if you must do so, place a smoke detector on the ceiling within the bedroom. Plug a portable space heater directly into the outlet, avoiding extension cords. Thus, do not use lamp cords or power strips for this purpose. Are portable, unvented propane and oil-filled heating appliances safe to use within a residence? No. Massachusetts prohibits their use. These heaters produce asphyxiant gases. These gases can render an occupant incapacitated or dead. Please consider your safety during these upcoming colder months. Thank you for doing so.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton. Now we'll be getting into more stories. The Braintree Police Department has announced a temporary chief until a search for a new chief can begin. Mayor Aaron Joyce announced last Thursday that Deputy Chief Robert Joseph will be serving as acting police chief for the Braintree Police Department. He's the Deputy Chief of the Bureau of Investigative Services. Former Chief Timothy Cahoon announced his resignation in January after he was selected to become the Chief of Police in Newton. He remained in the position in Braintree until February 11th. Cahoon had served in the town's police department since 1996 and became its chief in 2023. Joseph will act as interim chief for up to 90 days with a 30-day extension option until the position has been permanently filled. Joseph joined the department in 2004 and has served as deputy chief since December 2023. Mayor Joyce said Joseph has varied experiences in the police department and time as a senior law enforcement professional. In Mayor Joyce's announcement, she said that Braintree has begun its search for a permanent successor. A screening committee will review applications, interview candidates, and advise her on who should become Braintree's next police chief. Local veterans are invited to a special community coffee hour later this month. The Braintree Veterans Service Office will host a Veterans Coffee Hour on Tuesday, February 24th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at 74 Pond Street on the second floor. The event is open to veterans from Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Several local officials are expected to attend, including State Senators James Keenan and Bill Driscoll, State Representative Mark Cusack, and Braintree Mayor Aaron Joyce. Organizers say the goal of the event is to give veterans the opportunity to ask questions directly to their state and local leaders. A buffet breakfast will be served. Veterans planning to attend are encouraged to reach out in advance so organizers can get a head count. If you're interested, contact Braintree Veterans Service Office at 781-794-8217. In other veteran news, the Braintree Veterans Service Center has announced that the Veterans Pantry is back up and running. The pantry is now accepting donations of new clothing, toiletries, and non-perishable food items, all of which go directly towards supporting local veterans in need. The pantry serves veterans in Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Donations can be dropped off at the Veterans Service Center, located at 74 Pond Street in Braintree. Town officials say the reopening of the pantry ensures veterans continue to have access to essential resources and support within the community. The Braintree football team hasn't had a steady hand at the helm for a couple of years. Now Dale Olmsted has been named as the team's new head coach, according to the athletic department. Olmsted takes over for interim coach John Green and former head coach Lee Carlson, who stepped down prior to last season. The Womps finished with a 2-9 record last fall. Olmsted spent the past 2 years as an offensive assistant and tight ends coach at Division III Tufts University. He began his coaching career as an assistant coach at his alma mater, Walpole High School, which won 3 state championships during his 8 seasons there, from 1992 to 1999. As a head coach, Olmsted led Millis High School from 2005 to 2013 and at Nichols College from 2014 to 2023. Millis won the Tri-Valley League's Small School Division title in 2012, and Olmsted was named the league's Coach of the Year. The team went on to qualify for the state tournament for 3 consecutive seasons. At Nichols, Olmsted was named the Worcester Area College Coach of the Year in 2016 and 2018. Braintree is searching for its first winning season since 2023, when it finished 7-4 and missed the Division I state tournament by 1 spot. Here's a look at what's happening around Braintree. At their public library on February 20th, head to the children's room at 10 a.m. for family board games and play, where families, children, and their caregivers are invited to stop in. Then on February 21st, a Lunar New Year celebration for families will take place in the Logan Auditorium at 10 a.m. for some crafts and games. To register or for more information, visit the library's website at theirpubliclibrary.libcal.com. The Braintree Recreation Department is offering a Central Rock Gym climbing clinic now through March 25th. They're also running a kids test kitchen program through February 24th, meeting Tuesdays at 5 p.m. In addition, Super Soccer Stars is hosting youth soccer sessions now through March 28th at the Liberty Elementary School gym, focusing on skill building and teamwork in a fun, supportive environment. For more information, call the Recreation Department at 781-794-8900. And that's your weekly snapshot. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area. But first, here's a look at events happening this month at the Braintree Senior Center, located at 71 Cleveland Ave in Braintree. The Braintree Senior Center is offering a wide range of activities this February, from daily fitness and social programs to special events and presentations. First, a look at the center's regular offerings. Fitness classes are held daily. Mondays feature bocce coffee hours at 9:30, a walking group at 10, and men's coffee hour at 11. Pool players meet Mondays and Fridays at noon, with pool lessons Thursdays at 12:30. Game days run Tuesdays from 10 to 3, while Asian outreach is held Wednesdays at 11 a.m., followed by GEMS exercise at 1. Creative groups include quilting Thursdays at 11:30, knitting at 1, and movies Fridays at 12:30. The center is also hosting several special February events. The Cornhole League meets February 2nd and 9th at 1 p.m. A low vision group meets February 3rd at 10 a.m. Bingo takes place February 4th and 18th at 12:50. A Valentine's Day musical is scheduled for February 11th at 1 p.m. For more offerings, a photography class on February 12th and 26th, a hip-hop dance class on February 13th, and a full day of programming on February 20th, including spa day by appointment, book club, a KevTech iPhone and iPad class, and an advisory board meeting. Additional events include a craft class on February 23rd, just lunch on February 24th, and an Alzheimer's presentation that afternoon. A 250th anniversary Abigail Adams presentation on February 25th, which is free to attend. For more information or to sign up, residents are encouraged to contact the Braintree Senior Center directly, located at 71 Cleveland Avenue in Braintree, Massachusetts. Call 781-848-1963 after 9:30 a.m. February 2nd to sign up for all programs. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. The season is over for the New England Patriots with a disappointing loss in the Super Bowl. Now wide receiver Stefon Diggs faces a new battle as he appeared in court last Friday, being arraigned on strangulation and other criminal charges stemming from an alleged dispute with his former private chef last year. Diggs pleaded not guilty in court to those charges. Diggs' attorney Mitchell Schuster said outside of the Dedham District Court, Stefon Diggs is innocent and we expect the facts and evidence, when presented, will prove that he is innocent. Diggs' court appearance was brief, with neither prosecution nor Diggs' defense team offering any further details about the alleged circumstances that led to the charges. The New England Patriots has stood by Diggs as the legal process has played out, saying in a statement they're aware of the accusations and we support Stefon. Diggs faces no disciplinary action from the Patriots nor the NFL at this moment. His attorney expects the case to be resolved without a trial. It's been 6 years since a devastating 2020 rainstorm forced Norwood Hospital to close, and now the debate over its future is back on Beacon Hill. The issue was discussed at a public hearing before the Joint Committee on State Administration and Regulatory Oversight. Before the flood, Norwood Hospital was operated by Steward Healthcare, which later filed for bankruptcy. The property was purchased by Alabama-based Medical Properties Trust, which spent more than $220 million to rebuild the facility after it was demolished in 2022. But the hospital still has not reopened. Now, lawmakers are considering a bill that would allow the state to take control of the property through eminent domain. State Representative John Rogers introduced the proposal. Norwood Town Manager Tony Mizuko said the lack of a local hospital has serious consequences, noting residents in surrounding towns may face long travel times to reach life-saving cardiac care. Mizuko also leads the Finish Norwood Hospital campaign, which aims to secure a new operator and restore services to the community. However, a state law passed in early 2025 following Steward's bankruptcy has complicated efforts for the current owner to lease the property to another healthcare provider. A Hanover police officer is facing a homicide charge after allegedly striking a pedestrian in Brockton and leaving the scene. 36-year-old Thomas Hayes is charged with motor vehicle homicide by negligent operation and leaving the scene of personal injury or death. He was arraigned Tuesday in Brockton District Court, where he pleaded not guilty. Police say 23-year-old Alfredo Alves was found unresponsive early Monday and later pronounced dead. According to investigators, Hayes had been out with friends earlier in the evening and had been drinking. A friend told police Hayes was driving an SUV when he believed he hit something shortly after leaving a Brockton strip club. The friend said Hayes refused to stop, believing he had struck a snowbank. The damaged SUV was later found at Hayes' home. Police say they detected a strong odor of alcohol when he was arrested around 7 a.m. Surveillance video allegedly shows Hayes driving the vehicle before the fatal collision. He is due back in court on March 31st. The family of Alves set up a GoFundMe with the goal of establishing a trust fund for his 1-year-old child. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey last Friday said she opposes a nearly 10% gas rate hike proposed by National Grid, the state's largest gas company. National Grid filed the $342 million rate increase request with state regulators at the Department of Public Utilities last month, which would raise gas bills anywhere from 8.4% to 9.4%, an extraordinary amount 2 to 3 times the amount of inflation. If approved, the increase would take effect on January 1, 2027, for the company's nearly 1 million gas customers. The governor said in the statement, "People can't afford this. It's why I strongly oppose any proposed rate hike. Now is not the time. People are scared to even open up the envelope and get their next bill." Governor Healey appointed the 3 DPU commissioners who must approve the rate increase. The DPU has scheduled a series of public hearings on this proposed rate increase. FIFA World Cup matches scheduled for Gillette Stadium this summer could face uncertainty as Foxborough officials are asking organizers to cover nearly $8 million in security costs. At a select board meeting this week, town leaders said the estimated $7.8 million would need to be paid upfront. Town manager Paige Duncan said Foxborough cannot front that cost and wait for reimbursement. Officials warned that without a funding agreement, the town will not issue the necessary license for the matches. Select Board Chair Bill Yunka said the safety needs identified by police and fire officials must be fully funded for the event to move forward. The World Cup is just 4 months away and is expected to bring significant revenue and international visitors. Preparations are already underway at Gillette Stadium, including replacing the turf with natural grass. In a statement, Foxborough said it supports hosting the World Cup, but added that local taxpayers cannot be responsible for funding an international sporting event. The World Cup host committee says it is working with FIFA, the stadium, and the town to reach an agreement. The licensing deadline is March 17th. Thank you for tuning in to Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more entertainment and sports.
I'm Mayor Erin Joyce, and I'd like to tell you about some important projects we're working on here in Braintree to improve the quality of our local water bodies and to protect our town from the dangers of flooding and stormwater runoff. Stormwater runoff is the water generated from rain and snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground. Stormwater runs through a system of pipes in the street and into our local water bodies, such as the Cochado River, Farm River, Manatequit River, and Sunset Lake. In Braintree, we have a separate sewer system. So what does that mean? That means that there are actually 2 separate pipes in most streets that carry stormwater and sanitary sewer separately. So when it rains and water washes into our catch basin system, it ties into the stormwater system, which transports water to our water bodies. Over the past 5 years, the town of Braintree has been working hard to maintain and improve our stormwater drainage systems. Now, we're constructing retrofits to the drainage system. These drainage retrofits use the natural process of infiltration to improve water quality and reduce potential flooding in our neighborhoods. At Plain Street Cemetery, we're constructing a bioretention basin. What that is right before the water, which today runs piped to the Manatequit River. This project intercepts that pipe before it goes and discharges into the river. And it creates a place for the water to go first, which is the bioretention basin. And in that basin, plants and engineered soils will filter the water so that that water that's coming off of the neighborhood right now, unfiltered, untreated, will be collected into a rain garden, and that provides a lot of pollution control before the water ultimately makes it to the Manatequit River.
I'm Rachel Horak. I live here in Braintree, and I'm the president of Sustainable Braintree. We think of ways that we can help our residents of Braintree live healthier lives that are in better harmony with our planet. Bioretention Basin at the cemetery site is part of an overall project to expand the Braintree Cemetery. And this project will not impact current burial sites, nor will it impact future burial sites. After the bioretention basin is constructed, we add native plants that help filter out the pollutants so that the water is a little bit cleaner. Some of the ways that residents can help are reduce the amount of fertilizers that you use on your lawn, picking up pet waste, reducing the amount of garbage in our streets, and also raking the catch basins that you might see on the roadways.
To pay for these projects, we're leveraging grants from the Mass DEP, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. As a Braintree resident, you should know that the town is actively working on projects that help improve the water quality in our water bodies. With your help and these projects, we will help filter pollution and keep Braintree's rivers, lakes, and streams beautiful for years to come.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. First in sports is Chris Curran.
Braintree boys basketball finish out the season with a 7-13 record, losing their last 4 games to Milton, Oliver Ames, Norwell, and Plymouth South. This leaves them with a 44th seed according to MIAA and leaves them just outside of the playoff play-in games. This is down from 11th seed last season. This can be attributed to a lot of things. They had much of their starting lineup graduate this past year, leaving them with only 3 seniors this season. Also, longtime head coach Bob Crook stepped down, and this was Coach Wall's first season implementing his system. This team going 7-13 is a credit to them, and they look good going forward. As for girls basketball, they finished the season 15-5 and have the 6th seed going into the playoffs. They won 3 of their last 4 games of the season, beating Milton, North Quincy, and Walpole, while losing to Woburn by only 1 point. This is down from last season's 4th place finish, yet this team has a chance to go just as far as they did last season. They lost a lot of talent due to graduating seniors, but young players developed under Coach McDonald and have the opportunity for a state championship again this season. Based on seeding right now, Braintree would play the winner of 27th seeded Durfee and 38th seeded Westboro. Both of these teams had at least 15 wins but rank much lower than Braintree because of the quality of their wins they had this season. These rankings are subject to change based on how the season wraps up. The official playoff bracket will be released on Saturday the 21st. Boys hockey ends up 6-12-2, which leaves them with the 27th seed. This is down from 16th seed last year. This team had lost 18 seniors last season, so it left a lot of young players having to step up into key roles. Early in the season, they went on an 8-game losing streak, which set them back, but were able to fight and claw back into a playoff spot. As of right now, they would take on 6th-seeded Hingham. But again, the official bracket comes out this weekend. The girls hockey team finishes the season with a 9-6-4 record, giving them the 24th seed and a playoff spot. They had a rough end to the season, losing 2 and tying 1, only being outscored 8-6 across them all. This is a huge improvement on where they were last season, and an unexpected turnaround in 1 year from 2-18-1 to 9-6-4 and making the playoffs. Based on current rankings, they should face off against 9th-seeded North Andover. You can catch live and rebroadcasts of these games across all BCAM channels. Now let's send it back to Sarah in the studio.
Thanks, Chris. Now here's some entertainment news. Robert Duvall, Oscar-winning actor best known for his roles in The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, has passed away at the age of 95. Born January 5, 1931, Duvall spent 6 decades acting. He was given the Academy Award for Best Actor in 1983 for his role as Max Sledge in Tender Mercies, and was nominated 2 more times in 1980 and 1997. He also had 4 other Academy nominations. He acted in 145 movies or TV shows in his career, getting his first major role in 1962 and acting all the way until 2022. He passed at his home in Middleburg, Virginia, surrounded by love and comfort, his wife Luciana announced. Now, here are some new movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, Joe's College Road Trip follows Medea's foul-mouthed brother Joe, who wants to teach his sheltered grandson about the real world and in order to do so, takes the college-bound teen on a rowdy cross-country road trip. The film is directed by and stars Tyler Perry alongside Jermaine Harris. You can watch Joe's College Road Trip now on Netflix. Up next, Love Me follows June, who after her brother's death moves to Milan to start fresh at an Italian elite school. She finds herself caught between James, a troubled fighter, and his friend Will, a model student. She soon learns everyone has secrets as hidden truths emerge. The film stars Pepe Barroso and Mia Jenkins. You can watch Love Me now on Amazon Prime Video. Finally, Psycho Killer follows a highway patrol officer who sets out to find the man responsible for the brutal murder of her husband. Her quest leads her to a sadistic serial killer whose mental depravity and sinister agenda is more twisted than anyone could have ever imagined. The film stars Georgina Campbell and James Preston Rogers. You can watch Psycho Killer now in theaters. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.